Sometimes, exploring means braving the bitter cold and being rewarded with some fantastic finds. I'm author and researcher Mike Luoma. While waiting for Vermont's deer hunting season to end, I asked on Facebook for cool stone sites I could explore and received a few suggestions. The day after hunting season wrapped up was below freezing, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but with snow in the next day's forecast, it seemed my first chance to again safely walk the Vermont woods and see stonework was going to be my last chance to actually see the stones before they were covered by the white stuff. I headed out for the Hinesburg area, invited to visit some private land to see some very interesting stonework. There were interesting features on some attached public trails as well. I'll share with you effigy work in stone rows, some perched, propped, and even stacked boulders, and more. There was even similar work here to what I've found at Raven Ridge, corroborating evidence of serpent stonework. This upper stone row runs east to west along a public walking and hiking trail. The trail goes up and over a crossing north-south wall and the stone pile, likely a farmer's field clearing pile, but it could have other older origins as well. This area was supposedly an old sheep farm. We can see on LiDAR the walls are laid out in a north-south, east-west grid, meeting at 90-degree angles, here anyway, which can be evidence of farming work. But I see evidence of earlier work in the walls here as well. And even more so, on the private property I was invited out to investigate. This east-to-west running wall comes in from the road to the west and is transformed as it reaches exposed bedrock. The wall at this point is clearly much older, with surprising effigy and design work incorporated. Rays of a rising sun? That was my first thought when I saw these boulders. The way these stones are arranged in the wall. And it made me recall that the Abenaki, the indigenous people of this region, were called the people of the dawn. Maybe this is the rising sun. There's a large serpent effigy form on top of the bedrock, with loops arching back behind it, built into the wall. The way these stones surround that middle stone could mean this represents a serpent eye built into the wall. The stone wall or stone row was amazing enough and well worth my trip out to this spot. But did you see behind the wall? There are perched boulders back there. I thought about moving the chair, but then I felt it gave the stones a sense of scale. Even more remarkable are the perched and propped and stacked boulders on the bedrock behind the wall. These two boulders are perched on bedrock beneath, and at this angle, they point to another stack of shaped boulders just ahead. Let's take a look at the stack. The large rock on top is resting on at least 3 others, and these are also on top of other rocks. This top boulder appears to be carved and shaped in a similar fashion to the stones and bedrock at Raven Ridge, with reptile skin and little fins. But it appears this top rock has been turned to the side. It has shifted off the front rock slightly, and one of the side rocks has slid completely away. This top boulder was shoved over sideways at some point in the past, but they couldn't move it off completely. Or maybe they didn't want to. They just wanted to disrupt its power somehow. Just a theory. The long perch boulder on this eastern side, between the stack and the stone row, has a straight line, cut-looking side, which forms an angle with the long perch boulder to the west. But the other side drapes down over the bedrock like a wing. It looks like part of the bedrock from this lower side, but it's not. This can be hard to picture. I've drawn this illustration to attempt to show you the layout here. In this illustration, the wall is at the bottom, and the stack is at the top. We've looked at the stack and the wing-shaped boulder on the left. The stone on the right or west side is kind of incredible. The western side is shaped like a wave. And clearly carved to stand on this bedrock. We can see through a gap, still there underneath the long perched boulder. Thinking of the stack as the front of this long boulder cuts in and curves up like a stone noodle. As we come around the front, we begin to see this boulder too has had its surface shaped to look like serpent skin, the bumpy hide of a reptile. The ridges have small fins. This, again, is similar to what I've found at Raven Ridge. Raven Ridge is about 4 to 7 miles southwest of here. But well beyond surface alterations, this long perched boulder seems to have a semicircular design carved into this left side, the eastern side. I'm not sure what the design is, but it's clearly a semicircle and carved, sculpted into the rock. Pretty remarkable. After, I headed up the public trail towards some nearby cliffs and found the space at the top of the hill just before the base of the cliffs felt kind of magical. Then, I found some modern stonework nearby. Interesting. Although researcher Tim McSweeney has suggested this may be a now desecrated big snake effigy. I hope not. It seems to me these are attempted objects of reverence in their own right. I found some other interesting features on and near the public trail. This stone pile on bedrock feature, a possible petroglyph on a small boulder, a kind of boulder shelter, and some curious huge boulders, which may show signs of human alteration. After about 3 hours or more outdoors in the 10-degree temperatures, I needed to head home, though the finds here were firing me up. I plan on returning to the wall and the stone feature for more investigations in the future. For now, this first visit has exceeded expectations. The stone row is amazing. If indigenous, as I suspect, it's an incredible find alone. That it is associated with the bedrock stone feature just adds to the mystery. Seeing evidence of the same serpent or reptilian stonework, as I believe I've found at nearby Raven Ridge, is most incredible. This corroborating evidence suggests I'm not off base to suggest there was an ancient culture here in what is now Vermont, sculpting, carving, and shaping rock. Serpent sculptors. There is so much of it at Raven Ridge. Perhaps it was their school. Maybe it was a form of medicine keeping. The tools for this have not been found, but perhaps we need to dig at these sites to find them. This was quite an experience. I'm author and researcher Mike Luoma. Thank you for experiencing these amazing stone rows and boulder features in the Hinesburg, Vermont area with me.